Some say customization is a thing of the past. But after 20 years in this business, we're still standing. Never giving up. Always moving forward. As the industry has changed, we've advanced. It's about thinking outside the box and redesigning the wheel. Striving for perfection, even in the smallest details. Innovation instead of imitation. Always looking forward, but never forgetting where we came from. It's about hard work and dedication, making the impossible look simple. Some say customization is a thing of the past. I say it's the future. We are West Coast Customs.
So I got a call from Warner Brothers, their video game division, and they want to do a build for Mad Max, which is a new game they're coming out with. Everybody knows Mad Max is all about cars, and everybody in that movie customized your car, you know, did these crazy things to it. So this build, I think, is going to be a little over the top, but it's going to be a lot of fun for the guys out in the shop. They're going to come down, we're going to have a meeting about it, see what the build's really all about.
Thank you. I'm Peter Wise. I'm from Warner Brothers, and I'm a vice president of production. I'm in charge of the Mad Max game.
My name is Odd Ahlgren. I work at Avalanche Studios. I work there as the director of narrative content.
How you guys doing?
Hey.
I'm Ryan.
If I take a step back and I think about who around here could make me a car from scratch, the way that I want to live it in the wasteland, West Coast Customs popped into my head, and I'm like, those guys could make our vision for the car that shows up in the game. That'd be pretty sweet.
So we're talking Mad Max, I see,
Exactly,
huh?
exactly.
It's Mad Max. I mean, who doesn't know what Mad Max is?
And the people who haven't seen it, I'm hoping they get a little taste of what Mad Max is all about.
Right. It's definitely something I grew up on, so
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
We also have some of the game in action. If you want to see it
Yeah.
here, we can show you how it's going to look in the game, how the car drives.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Sweet.
That world is so very physical. It's all about decay and rust and grime and everything like that. We work video games, right? We never touch the stuff that we are in contact with daily. And I've been in this business for over 10 years, and I've never been able to touch anything from our games. And we really, really wanted to be able to touch the most important object of this game that we've been working so hard on.
We call it the magnum opus.
Okay.
It's the ultimate car.
It's like a rolling shrine, almost.
Right.
And also a place where he spends most of his time. He sleeps there, he's awake there, it's his armor against the world and everything like that. So it really is a well-lived-in little scenario in there.
Since it is going to go to venues and places that you guys are going to, you know, display the game and stuff, maybe we put a little game station in it or something. You know,
Pretty sweet.
People can sit in it,
Yeah.
check it out, still make it grimy, dirty,
Yeah.
you know, the feel,
Right.
but have a little bit of technology, you know, mixed in there.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about the texture and the paint that we do on it, you know?
They're definitely like the brush steels and the matte blacks. There's not a ton of color in this
Yeah,
game,
I figure.
but when there is, you know, it really stands out.
Got it.
But Max's car is a little more subtle.
And then like some rust. I mean, we'll come up with some cool stuff just to make it really look weathered and worn,
Exactly.
but still nice.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
It's loved. It's
Yeah.
the most loved object in his world, even
Okay.
though it's constantly on the move. So he has no time to tinker with it like that.
Right.
But
of
it's
course.
his
Yeah,
most
he's
loved
always,
object.
he's always moving.
Yeah.
It's always great to come into a conference room not really knowing what they're here for, and then you see these storyboards and these pictures of what this car is they want to build. This project for the guys is going to be super fun.
That's
you know
awesome.
what I mean? It's funny because when you ask some of these guys probably out there, they probably never even seen the movie,
Yeah.
but you show them this picture, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So
the
it's
car
cool.
of my dreams.
Yeah. No, this will be fun. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
We're used to the challenge, you know, everything's always different, and
Yeah.
this one's definitely gonna
put us, another notch up.
Awesome.
I'm excited. What I'm thinking is we get the traditional body, and then we'll put it on like a newer, like a truck chassis.
Okay.
I really do hope that you can find the original body. Can you do that in America, really?
So yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. We'll have to play around and see what we could do. But we can definitely build a replica. I mean, it'll look just like this. Not an issue. I guess the other big question is, when is it due?
There's this event in the desert in California called Wasteland Weekend.
Okay.
And I would really love to get the car ready for that.
All right, well, then I got my work cut out for me. I'll get with my guys, we'll start making a plan and start getting these cars and keep you guys updated.
Can't wait to see it.
So the plan now is, since I don't got to go sit with Jeff and go over renderings like I usually would, I'm going to sit with Kenny, go over, show him some of the gameplay, show him these pictures, tell him what we're going to do, and then really start looking for the cars, get the cars here, cut them up, and start building it.
Well, we got something this time.
Yep. This one's good. This one's going to be cool. I think you're going to like
We're
it.
starting with the video?
This is different. Usually
I
you
know
don't get to see a
we start
video,
with the
right?
video. He always comes with me with different ideas, different way of building things, but this time it's totally something out of my ordinary.
So that's the one they want us to build. But what I'm thinking is maybe we use an older, like, Ford Ranger, where we could put that body on
Instead
top
of
of
truck
it.
chassis underneath it.
Yeah, so
Smart.
that way we can get that big lift out
Yeah,
of
that
it,
look.
I
like those even.
Yeah, that little things on the side.
We got to build it right. There's a lot of enthusiasts on this project that are like Mad Max fans and like the people who go out and like ride into the wasteland and reenact this video. So actually, we got to get all the details perfect, but we got to make it rugged at the same time.
This one's more like what we do. Taking a body, putting it on a truck chassis.
That'd be fun.
It's gonna be
good
fun.
for the
I
guys
mean-
on the floor to make something different. This time we get to take 2 different cars and actually put them together, but they don't have to be perfect. But they got to run, they got to look cool, and they got to be all about a video game.
I'll get on trying to find those cars and get them
Get
here.
together and.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Thanks, man. So next step is once we get the cars in, get the wheelbase measured out, get them cut in half, and get them together.
To create the Mad Max Magnum Opus, we're gonna start with a 1998 Ford Ranger and a 1971 Ford Maverick. We'll then take the body of the Maverick and put it on top of the Ranger chassis to give it the height we need. The paint will get sandblasted back to bare metal, and the fab work will begin. We'll fabricate a new front end to look like the original Interceptor, create a new exhaust system, front fenders, and side panels, and cut out the back so the gunner can have a place to stand. To beef it up, we're gonna add a Camberg suspension, Fox shocks, Deaver leaf springs, and ABT brakes. And of course, an Edelbrock supercharged engine with a custom blower will power this beast. The final exterior touch will be to spray vinegar to create that rusted look and then clear coat it for some protection. The inside is gonna be simple, with distressed leather seats, Line-X floor, and a PlayStation and a monitor so everyone can play the game. All this is gonna ride on beefy General tires and MHT wheels. Now it's off to the wasteland. So the original Interceptor from the Mad Max movie was a 1973 Ford Falcon Coupe. That car is extremely hard to find. It's only in Australia. So what we're gonna do is build our own Interceptor. We're basically starting out with 2 cars. We're gonna use a Maverick and we're gonna use a Ford Ranger for the chassis. And the reason we're using a Ford Ranger is the wheelbase really lines up with the Maverick, so we don't have to do a lot of fabrication with stretching the chassis and really making it fit. It'll actually cut the body off, put this body on top, should fit perfect. Keep our fingers crossed that these things marry together really nice. So the next step is get the cars in here, get the guys together, and start building this.
So now we got the car inside. Now it's time to get this thing torn down. So the car is stripped, 1 Blue Ranger down, 1 White Maverick to go. Take a rumba, you wanna have fun? Just press the unlock button. We want to be able to lift this car up. This car is a unibody, which that means is the body with basically the suspension bolted to the body, so there's no frame. On that car, we can take the frame, lift the suspension up, kind of like off-road vehicle, then take the Maverick body, what they want, on top of it, and drop the 2 together. So the Ranger is actually really easy. We just need the frame on that one and the drivetrain, which is pretty easy. Throw it the rest away. This one's actually a little bit more complicated. I don't need the engine or the rear suspension, but I need everything else. My grandma used to own one of these. So take the front end apart, you know, doors, hood, deck lid, everything, and they'll bring it over there, drop the whole cradle out of it. Because at the end, this is all gonna get shaved.
Let's do this thing. Let's take the engine out. Hey, Meng, let's handle it.
So right now in stage 2 of the Mad Max build, the car's been fully tore apart. Tony's finishing up, getting the suspension out right now. Boom. So now that the Maverick's torn down, it's time to get it off to the sandblaster.
Oh, you just got the Maverick on the truck. A little bit tricky. Some of the wheels are broken, but all the guys in the back helped me out. Now we're off to sandblasting.
So hinges on, doors first, fenders, and then the hood. Then we start the real build. You ready? You sure?
So the Maverick is back from sandblasting. It's fully stripped. It's assembled today. Now it's time to get serious. Fabrication team's gonna come in here and work their magic.
Then take the vent and bring it back here.
Stay tuned. Coming up on West Coast Customs.
You know, we got to do a whole bunch of bends to get to the armory that they want.
This car's got to be perfect. It's for Mad Max. There's a lot riding on this.
Bon appetit, baby.
So now that the Maverick's back from the sandblaster, it's really time to get the fab team on it so they can start doing the metal work on this body.
Basically what this video game is, all the upgrades, like this is like stage 5 upgrade. All this is called armory for them. This car is not a Maverick. So we need to take this car and make it look similar to this. But I don't want the windshield frame, the door frame here. I want to be able to take this out, cut it out, just give it a good angle, and then take the vent and bring it back here. So let's get started on the metal work first and get them all the holes, and then we'll get in cutting and stuff.
All right.
All right?
All right. So today I'm working on a Mad Max Maverick. I'm working on the right rear quarter opening. What I'm going to do, actually what I did right now, is I have a template of the opening. I'm going to close it out. I have it in cardboard already, so what I'm going to do is get 16 gauge sheet metal, transfer it, do my cutting, do my bends, and cover the side window. Beautiful. I got my right side window closed out ready. I'm gonna start tacking it, putting it in place, and start from there.
So I just met with Kenny. We've got the taillight bezel measured out.
I'm going to add another piece here, but I want it to be the angle.
Got it programmed into the computer. It's all symmetrical. It's time to get cutting.
So when it comes to building like one-off parts for customers, we get these renderings that people want, these ideas. So on this car, we have to build a custom brand, which is a whole new taillight system, like a grading system. What I've done is given Kevin a kind of dimension of the rear end, and I had him design kind of from their data to our data of what I thought. So what we got is we have a water jet part we cut out, which is the rear, which is this piece here. We bent some flanges on it, and now we're adding all the characteristics of the car relationship to the body to the new piece. So the next thing is to continue covering up the parts, create a rebate for the grill, and then once we get that done, we go on the next part. So on the Mad Max build, we got to do level 5 armory, which consists of a lot of tubing. So we're going to use a JMR bender for actually bending the tube. Some of them we got to go 90 degrees, some we got to go 45, some we got to go 22. We got to do a whole bunch of bends to get to the armory that they want. So this is just the start. So we got to tack these together, get them fitted, and then start doing the ones that go on the side of the vehicle, which is basically the side version of the armory. So once I get the rear tacked up, it's time to head off to the side. Bon appetit, baby.
How we doing, Kenny?
Working.
It's coming together.
A lot of work fast. There's like a mock-up of the rear wing. Kind of get an idea how we're gonna scoop it.
Right.
Let's make this out of aluminum.
I love
It's gotta be
these.
super thin. Yeah, these came out good.
Yeah, those look good.
But the whole back roll cage, all that stuff's done. We basically have the front to do.
I just checked in with Kenny. The build's going really well. This is definitely one of those ones that's a little bit different than the normal because it needs to look like it's beat up and worn and torn and, things aren't, obviously gonna be exact. But Warner Brothers is Warner Brothers. This car's gotta be perfect. It's for Mad Max. There's a lot riding on this. So the next step is to get somebody to weld all the tacked roll bars. And then from there, we're gonna work on the front bumper so we can pull that off, and then they can bring in the chassis, cut the floor out, drop it on the chassis, keep our fingers crossed that everything fits perfectly, and this thing will be ready to go soon.
All right, I got it.
All right, break. Coming up on West Coast Customs.
The next step is to basically marry these two together. So what that means, we're gonna lift the body up, stick it on the chassis, start fitting it. We just put the body on top of the chassis. Unfortunately, the body doesn't fit on the chassis.
So the team did an amazing job on the fab work, from molding the front end to really look like the Interceptor, to the side pipes down the side, to the roll cage in the back, to the bumpers. I mean, the cool thing about this build is you get to see the work. Usually we hide it with Bondo and paint. This, you're gonna see the welds, you're gonna see the metal work, and it's all gonna be raw. So I think it's gonna be really cool once it's all finished. Now the next step is get this body on the chassis.
So now we have the sheet metal done. All the tubing's already on the car. We have the front end built, the front bumper being positioned. The next step is to basically marry these two together. So that means we're gonna lift the body up, stick it on the chassis, start fitting it, start cutting what we need to get done, and get it welded. Hi. So round one, we just put the body on top of the chassis. Unfortunately, the body doesn't fit on the chassis. The next thing is we're gonna narrow up the chassis 8.5 inches, and then we're gonna have to cut a whole bunch of chassis off. We always make things work. So the next thing is get on the table and get it repaired. So after a lot of cutting and grinding, the chassis really didn't fit. So we're back on the plate, cutting the frame in half and actually put it back together. So once the chassis shortened, put it back together, the biggest thing is making it structurally strong. So what we got to do is take the frame, actually box it on the inside, making it like 6 inches longer on each side, and actually weld inside, a whole entire gusset inside the chassis. Once we get it all welded up and all of it grinded, it's time to get it back on the car and get it fitted.
So on this one, the client definitely wants the interior to be clean, but they want it to match the exterior, which is hard. I mean, you have the exterior that's rugged and rough looking, and then they want the interior to look clean. So I'm gonna go with Ish. We're gonna sit down, come up with a couple different ideas. Hopefully we can come up with something that still looks clean, but with a little dirt on it. I'm bringing you something a little tougher. So, do you ever see Mad Max? Remember back in the day when we were kids? The movie Mad Max? Yeah. Basically, this is what you're gonna go with. Okay. You know, it looks rugged, it looks mean, but we're also gonna make the paint still, you know, we're gonna clear coat it and make it, because this car is gonna go to events for them. They're gonna put a screen in the dash, play a video game, play the actual game in the car. But I think on the interior on this, I mean, maybe you do something weathered, you know, make it look old, but still nice.
Like it's new, but it's been through 3 hurricanes, desert storms,
Yeah,
and all of it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I got it. Heavy metal style.
Yeah, exactly. You got
Like
this.
vintage.
Vintage, there you go. Vintage, worn, weathered. So me and Ishmael just went over the Mad Max build. So Ish has got a little bit of a challenge. You know, I told him we got to get some new leather, but make it look weathered, make it look a little worn. So hopefully he can find something that's gonna match, be able to get this interior done really quick. The other side of it is he only has 2 seats. He doesn't have door panels, he doesn't have a dashboard. All he's got to do is find the right material. I think he's got this one covered.
Next step, I'm gonna break the seats apart, make the patterns, you know, do whatever I gotta do. I got the game plan on my head already. I'm gonna take the door panel, place it on the car, so I can do some lines, fix the outrays, whatever I gotta do, spice it up, whatever I gotta do. Really simple, as 1, 2, 3.
So Ish really made some cool seats for this. We found some leather that was distressed, but it was still new and clean. So it gave it that feel of the exterior, but still had something you would want to sit on.
It's just that there's so many layers holding everything together, so that's why it was taking a little bit longer and we had to use the small sawzall.
Ya le había cortado ahí yo.
That's how you cut a part off.
Okay, so after all the plasma cutting, all the notches, all the cut wheel cutting, we're finally there where we wanted to. We're going to check one more time. We're going to lower the body onto the chassis. If everything fits pretty good, we're going to be able to go ahead and tack it in place and start doing all of our closeouts and actually attaching the body to the chassis. So let's bring it down and hopefully it goes good. ¿Cómo está?
Perfecto. So now we got the body and chassis fitting like a glove. Now it's time to weld it.
Coming up on West Coast Customs. Another major component of this build is definitely the motor.
It gives it the heart of this car.
It might have something that might interest you.
Man, that's
And
bad.
if you want some kick, this will definitely kick you.
Wow.
One of the main reasons why we chose the Ford Ranger, not only does the wheelbase match up with the Maverick, but it's also a standard truck. I mean, they make a ton of different parts for it, so it's not hard to find parts that'll fit this thing. The suspension, we can add a lift kit to it and it'll be good to go. So the guys now are finishing putting the body onto the chassis. Then the next step is getting the off-road suspension on it and the upgraded brakes.
Pretty much the fabrication is all complete. Front end's done and the rear end's done. The next thing is rip out the suspension. Camguard came through and built a whole new suspension for it. He got upper control arms, spindles, and shocks for the front and blocks for the rear. So the next thing is get it ripped out, get the new stuff in.
Now that we take out the old suspension, it's time to install the new upper arm.
To make this car futuristic and rustic, what we have to do is kind of make it look aged. We took a sample, which is just a piece of bare metal, grinded 1/2 and made a D80 1/2 and 80 grit, sprayed vinegar on it. After we let it age for about 30 minutes out in the sun, we top cleared it with matte clear, and it's the process we got, kind of an old school rustic grinding material. So once I have the sample done, we're gonna send it to the client, get it approved, and start painting.
Nice.
So sample.
So we can do like on the side of the car, like in some grooves or whatever, it could look like it's like dripping down.
You spray wherever you want to go. I just had a squirt bottle and basically squirt where I want to go.
Yeah, this
trick.
is dope. This is what they're gonna want. And it'll cut the whole process of body work and paint. On a build like this, we don't want it to feel like a prop that came out of a movie. We want it to feel like this was really built back in the Mad Max days, Like these guys, this thing really rusted. It really, looks the way it looks. But also it needs to have a smooth finish so when they do take it to events or whatever, it doesn't get over rusted or, gets damaged or whatever. So I think this is perfect. I like it. Okay.
All right, cool.
Let's do it. I'll see if I can get them down here today.
All righty.
Another major component of this build is definitely the motor. Since it is one of the first things you see is this motor sticking out of the hood, it really gives it the heart of this car, but it also gives it, that meanness that it needs. So we called up our friends over at Pep Boys. They recently just opened up all these speed shops that are inside the actual Pep Boys. So they sell all the high performance parts. They have Edelbrock as one of the brands that they sell, so we're gonna go down there. Hopefully they have an Edelbrock motor that we can throw in this bad boy. So I'm here at Pep Boys. We need that look, we need that feel, and we need that power. So I'm gonna go in, hopefully they have what we need, and we can get this build done.
How you doing today?
Nice to meet you, I'm Ryan.
My name is Ezra Ramirez, and I'm the speed shop manager for Pep Boys at the Orange store.
So we have a crazy build we're doing back at work, but it needs a big motor sticking out the top of it. So maybe like a small block, something
Small
like
block
that.
Chevy?
I know you guys have the speed shop now, and you guys carry a bunch of this kind of stuff, but I didn't know. I've never really got to see it yet, so I wanted to come down and check it out and see if you had anything that could work.
Speed shop is a concept that was created about 6 years ago, where we have people like myself, car enthusiasts, that love muscle cars, love imports, love domestic, love dropping, lowering of the vehicles. And all we do is modify or sell customer performance pieces. It might have something that might interest you.
All right, okay, yeah, let's check it out.
Ryan came up with a project and he wanted a small block Chevy 350, but he wanted with some more power. So in the back, we had a small block Chevy 350 crate engine with the blower from Edelbrock.
Man, that's
bad. If you want some kick, this will definitely kick you.
Wow. This will be perfect. I mean, this is like perfect. And you have a tranny, and you can get us a radiator and all the other miscellaneous
I got the
stuff.
transmission, I have the radiator, I have all the hoses, all the belts. So it's ready to go if you want it.
I got the van too, so I mean, we can load
Bring it
this.
around.
We can load this today, buddy.
There you go.
This is how we get it done. It's perfect. And he has everything else to go with it. He has the transmission, he has all the hoses, he has all the wiring. I mean, everything we need to get this thing done, it was here. So I'm gonna go grab Eddie, have him load it up. We're gonna get back to the shop. One of the trickiest parts of this build is definitely the paint job, since they do want it to look like it went through a war zone, but it still has to be some sort of a paint job, so we're gonna have to clear coat it. Hopefully that turns out right.
So right now, the guys are prepping the car. I'm gonna go in there and do some magic with some vinegar. Basically spray it on a couple places, let it rust it out. Once we get that done, get these guys to clear it and get it back to assembly, start putting the motor in. So that black motor just showed up. It's the sickest motor I've ever seen. Pep Boys came through with all the parts. Now it's time to get my guys put it together and get in the car. Good right now.
It's dead center. 4.5, 4.5. Perfect. Now we got the engine, so it's time to put it together. The rest of the stuff, headers, spark plugs. So Holly is running tomorrow.
We got the motor from Edelbrock, and by the looks of it, it has a lot more power than I thought. So these little brakes aren't going to do it. So I called my buddy Harry over at ABT, and he's going to bring something over, see if we can use it.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, man. You got him, huh?
Brought your rotors for you.
Sweet.
Just what you need, man.
Thank you very much for getting them over so quick. What do we have?
I brought over our drilled and slotted Super Sport brake rotors. Zinc plated, drilled and slotted, take the heat, give it a little bit more stopping power too. Take some of that power of that Edelbrock motor.
Yeah. Very cool. I like the black. That's going to look great. What coating is that?
Zinc coating.
Zinc coating.
Yeah, keeps them from rusting.
So do you do this on, I mean, you have all applications?
We do everything. Anything we can get a brake rotor for, we can machine them for you.
Very cool.
I think the guys will really love them. You're going to have twice the stopping power of the stock rotors.
Coming up on West Coast Customs.
Right now we're marking up a bezel for our 10-inch screen. It's gonna go in the dash.
Time to see if it works.
So now that we got the engine in the car, Edelbrock's gonna send over one of their techs to actually tune this thing, so it'll be good to go for the road.
We're here to help West Coast Custom install one of our new blown small blocks. With Edelbrock, you're getting 75 years of performance and engineering into every kit that we put together. The motor's about 530 horsepower, about 510 to 520 foot-pounds of torque on pump gas. I think West Coast Customs and the Mad Max folks are going to be real happy with this engine.
Right now we're marking up a bezel for our 10-inch screen. It's gonna go in the dash. Make a little box here, make a little box there, put it in, bada bing, bada boom. Everything's done and set for. Now it's just time to see if it works.
So one of the craziest features of this car is definitely the front bumper cow catcher. I mean, it really makes it look mean. I mean, when it's coming at you, you're definitely gonna get out of the way. So we for sure could build it out of metal and I think it would look amazing, but it is gonna make it front heavy because it's gonna a lot of metal to make it look like that. So we called up our friends over at Storyland Studios. Since they've done a ton of stuff for us in the past, they can really make realistic looking stuff out of foam. So we're gonna do this front bumper out of foam, hard coat it, you know, paint it to make it match, and then hopefully this thing will be good to go.
You got the goods?
Got the goods. I just dropped off the gun and the cow catcher for the vehicle here. This thing's dope. It was a toughie one to do in the time frame, but we did it.
Hey, since you're good with armor, I want you to see if it fits. So you can fire it.
Where's the ammo?
Get to the car.
The gun came out outrageous. The cow catcher looks amazing. So I think we did a really excellent job for West Coast.
Ryan should be happy. Mad Max should be happy.
All right,
As usual, man. That's how we do it.
Coming up on West Coast Customs. So the car's almost completed, got a couple little final touches, and then it's off to Wasteland.
Seeing it made all of that work so worth it. We're really happy about it.
So I got a call from Warner Brothers about doing a build for the new Mad Max video game. So we started with a Maverick and a Ford Ranger. We combined the two of them together to really make this off-road looking mean vehicle. We fabricated a new front end and a new back end to really give it that Interceptor look. Once the Maverick was fabricated and put on the Ford Ranger, we installed the front and rear off-road suspension. We found some leather that's really distressed and worn looking, which is gonna be perfect for this. But one of the biggest things for this build was putting in the Edelbrock supercharged motor and actually stick it out of the hood to really give it that Mad Max feel. And then Storyland came in and finished off the cow catcher made out of foam. Carlos finished off the interior with some electronics. We put an aftermarket head unit and, of course, a PlayStation so people could sit in there and actually play the game. So the car's almost completed, got a couple little final touches, and then it's off to Wasteland.
So on the Mad Max build, a level 5 armory, basically they have like a tire shredder. I'm gonna take a whole bunch of these, actually roll them all over this thing to give it like a shredding pattern. So when I get done, it kind of looks like this whole thing is sticked out that will shred the crap out of somebody else's car. Now get the bad boy on, finish your project.
So the guys have been working really, really hard getting the motor, getting the tranny, getting everything tuned, getting it ready. Now it's the moment of truth. We gotta make sure this thing starts. Moscow, start it up.
The engine's installed, tuned, and it runs. I'm heading back to Edelbrock. My work here is done.
So Mad Max is completed. It's ready to go to Wasteland. Next step, to get it loaded in the truck, I'm gonna go grab Kenny, jump in his truck, and head off to Wasteland. Me and Kenny made it, finally to the Wasteland. Now we're about to head in, but I brought a couple of my friends with me.
Open the gate.
That is so sweet.
My God! I couldn't have imagined that it would come out anything near this. Could not be better.
This is awesome, man.
How you doing, man?
Good.
How you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you, man.
What do you think?
It's unbelievable, man. It
Definitely Odd and Peter both, from taking, seeing the digital world of this car and then seeing it in real life when we pulled up. I mean, I think they were blown away.
Look at this grill. It's so sweet.
Motor.
cow catcher.
You like that?
This is V8, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. So we did a Ford Ranger, right? Basically
Yeah, I saw
truck.
that
We
was under, right?
Yeah, so we basically took the truck off, put this body on it.
Wow.
And then did the custom suspension
Oh, look
on
at
it.
that thing.
We tried to, keep it rugged.
Yeah.
But
And
we
on the
still
inside, it's
added, it's got a nice sound system in it.
Couple more bullets than I
Some
might
more
find on
bullets
the
just in case you need them.
Ah, okay. That's it.
All in all, I couldn't be happier. It's really, really awesome. And to see the video game come to life like this, I'm really happy.
So for me, it's the sniper rifle that you mounted there, and I just want to shoot something with it.
Test it out.
I just want to see how it feels. We always seen it on rendered images. It's fantastic.
So from video game to rendering to reality.
Yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
You did.
Thank you so much.
No, we're stoked. We're stoked to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Definitely stoked. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for all this. Yeah, it turned out so good.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was awesome.
The guys did an amazing job in the whole entire building. From the paint to servicing to even, rims, tires, everything we did. It's just, and we nailed it.
We're doing something that's non-tangible, right? We can't really touch it. We only see it on screen all the time. It's seeing it actually rolling towards you right now. That made all of that work so worth it. We're really happy about it.
So I'm so ready to take this thing for a spin. Let me just put my goggles on here. And I'm ready. Let's go.
Now it's time for me to get back before it gets dark. Next week on West Coast Customs. This is definitely the most important client to me. It's my son.
Even though I've grown up in the shop, I've never really worked on a car. So I'm looking forward to being able to work with Kenny and all the guys. I got to get my hands dirty. It's not going to hit me in the face, is it? Maybe. Oh, no. Don't fall. Oh, this sound system's going to be banging.
Yeah, I'm going to laugh when you get a ticket.
This is definitely going to be a learning experience.
Game changer.